How could one of the biggest musicians in the world, on top of their game, mysteriously pass away seemingly out of nowhere? Sam Cooke's death is one of the most mysterious and tragic in the history of music. His passing on December 11th, 1964, at the age of 33, remains a subject of controversy, with many people questioning the context surrounding it. Cooke, known as the King of Soul, was at the height of his career, enjoying tremendous success with hits like A Change Is Gonna Come, You Send Me, and Cupid. He was not only a musical superstar, but he was also an important piece to the American civil rights movement, using his platform to create awareness about racial injustice. At the time of his death, Sam Cooke was in Los Angeles working on his next album. His career and life was filled with promise and so much more. The details surrounding his death are still heavily disputed, but here's what we know. On the night of December 11th, 1964, Sam Cooke ended up at the Hacienda Motel, located in South Central Los Angeles, with Alyssa Boyer, who he had met and had been hanging out with that night. Boyer claims they had gone to eat dinner and then ended up at the hotel. But once in the room, things took a turn. According to Boyer, allegedly, Sam Cooke forced himself on her and repeatedly tried to SA her. In the midst of the melee, she was able to escape. Boyer claims once she got out of the motel room, she ran to the motel manager's office and knocked on the door seeking help. However, she said the manager took too long to respond and she was worried Sam would be right on her heels, so she decided to run off. She went to a nearby phone booth and called the police. In the meantime, Sam Cooke also made his way to the hotel management's office, where manager Ethel Franklin was on duty. Franklin said Cooke had banged on the door of her office, shouting, "Where's the girl?" in reference to Alyssa Boyer. Franklin shouted back that there was no one in her office, as Alyssa Boyer by then had already ran off to the phone booth and called police. Franklin reiterated that it was only her in the office, and allegedly Sam Cooke barged in a fit of anger. He allegedly forced his way into the office and was naked, wearing nothing but one shoe and a sport jacket. He grabbed Franklin, demanding again to know the whereabouts of Alyssa Boyer. According to Franklin, she grappled with Cooke. The two of them then fell to the floor before Franklin got up and ran to get her gun. Franklin says she then fired at Cooke in an act of self-defense because she feared for her life. He was struck once in the torso. According to Franklin, Cooke famously exclaimed, "Lady, you shot me," in a tone that communicated perplexity over anger. After taking the bullet, he allegedly then advanced towards her once again. Franklin claims she then hit him on the head with a broomstick, before Cooke finally fell to the floor and died. A coroner's inquest was then convened to investigate his death. At this time, motel owner Evelyn Carr also heard the commotion from her room and called the police. Later, testimony from Alyssa Boyer, Ethel Franklin, and Evelyn Carr all had corroborating stories. The official investigation into Cooke's death concluded that it was a justifiable homicide, and Franklin was never charged with any crime. However, many people, including Cooke's family and friends, believe the events of that night were not what they appeared. They pointed out that Cooke was known for his calm, composed demeanor and questioned whether he would have reacted in the way that he did, especially given how violent it allegedly was. Some even speculated that there might be foul play involved, with theories ranging from a botched robbery to a more complex conspiracy involving people in Cooke's inner circle as well as music industry personnel. But there was never enough concrete evidence to challenge the official story. On the perceived lack of investigation, Cooke's friend Muhammad Ali said if Cooke had been Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, or Ricky Nelson, the FBI would be investigating. Singer Etta James viewed Cooke's body before the funeral and questioned the accuracy of the official version of events. She reports that the injuries she observed were well beyond the official account of Cooke having fought Franklin alone. James wrote that Cooke was so badly beaten that his head was nearly separated from his shoulders. His hands were broken and crushed, and his nose was mangled. Some have speculated that Cooke's manager, Alan Klein, had a role in his death. Klein owned Tracy Limited, which ultimately owned all the rights to Cooke's catalog of music. However, no concrete evidence supporting a conspiracy theory around Cooke's death ever materialized. Cooke's death left a tragic hole in the music industry. Not only was he an extraordinary talent, but he was also a trailblazer in terms of artistic control. He was one of the first African American artists to own their own music label, which set precedent for other artists to take control over their careers. His death robbed the world of more music, activism, and progress that he could have contributed during such a pivotal time in history. What do you guys think? Is the official account right? Should we be looking more into this? Leave your thoughts in the comments.